What's going on YouTube? This is Chaos-Reighn. This time around I am showing you a little bit of my progress of League, kind of showing you where I'm at, what I'm doing, how my build is coming along, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately today, or at this moment, my Aura bot isn't on right now to kind of give me a big buff, so you can't really see what we're doing in that case. However, I have officially made the transition back into iShot, as always, to kind of show you guys exactly what I'm doing and the way I'm building the build this time around. Now I do have a couple of changes from what you're probably used to, and this is probably going to be one of the more fleshed out slash fun iShot builds I've ever made, in my opinion. And I do recommend you maybe check this out and try and make it your own, if it excuse me, if at all possible. Now, I think I mentioned this before, but I do have breathing issues, so I do apologize if I do end up coughing. I will try and keep it to a minimal. I am on medications to, for my allergies and for my asthmatics and whatnot. So just bear with it. If it does bother you, then I do apologize. I do appreciate the people who have stuck around anyway. So, as you can see from our bow is pretty bad, kind of. It's really good, but really bad, and here's why. First things first, we're gonna get to our hideout so we can show you what we got going. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. And, so let's see. Our bow is the Silver Tongue bow. Now, the Silver Tongue bow in past leagues, I don't know if it's ever been really good, but at least for this league, I think it's going to make a resurgence and or a overall just buffed. It's overall just been buffed, so I don't think there's any reason not to use it. Now, there isn't a whole lot of reason to 6-link it as of now. There is a 6-link one on the market for 2x, which I'm actually probably going to pick up. But there isn't a whole lot of reason to 6-link it right now. But I'm just trying to show you basically the average price of the bow. 60C, 5C, 10C, 20C, 2 exalts, 2 exalts for a 6-link, 2 exalts for a 6-link, 5C, and as you can see, oh, that's the same one, I'm sorry. 5C, 5C, 60C, no price. This bow is dirt, right? You're not going to be paying a lot for this bow. It's just not going to happen. Now, it's a Harbinger bow. Normally, this would be a Hydra exclusive drop, but because they added it to the base game, it drops very, very commonly. And the 6-link version even drops relatively commonly, so you are not looking to spend a whole lot on it. I will say that I don't even have it linked, and the only thing I have linked in it is a Assassin's Mark, though I don't use that. I do have a Osc Arms with no corruption. It's just a 2-socket, 2-link, 3-socketed Osc Arms right now. Currently, we do have 3 auras on, but our alternate setup actually uses 3 heralds because our aura bot is a stacking aura effect, and it's obviously better to use his and use that setup than mine. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to invite a friend of mine, that way I can maybe show you a little bit of a showcase. Let's go ahead and invite into group. And in the meantime, I'll go ahead and put in a tier 7 map. I haven't pushed all the way to red tiers just yet. I've been pushing my yellow tiers as much as possible, as fast as possible, just so I can get as much value as I can. As you know, as the league is now, the red tier maps are very unforgiving. I'm gonna let him know. Party. I need to EX my bow. 6 things is dirt cheap. LOL. See what he says. And then if we go to the Chin Soul, which is what I normally use. The Chin Soul is a great bow, but you can see there's 8C here, 5C here, so on and so forth. I don't know if there's any 6-links on market. If there is, it's probably expensive. There isn't. So, there's that. And obviously, you can kind of see, like, the bow itself is kind of meh. It has 407 on the top end, a really huge amount of fizz, and then it has insane crit chance for arrows that fork, and you pierce all arrows after forking with 50 crit multi. We're using Marlene's Fallacy, which with a Vengeance Cascade anointed, meaning after it forks and pierces, it returns from all targets and pierces remaining targets. And we have the Osc Arms, which gives us even more crit chance. We have this from our crit chance. We're using 1 taming. Then if we go into our ice shot itself, we have a tooltip of 104,000, 55% crit chance, 75% crit multi. I believe level 10 Assassin's Mark brings that up to somewhere around, 758 crit multi, somewhere around 790 to 800. Then when they pierce, they get another 50 crit multiplier from this. So we have a very, very, very strong setup. We have tier 1 multi on our quiver as well. If we lose this, we lose 123 or 130,000 DPS. So I did think about using the quiver that gives fork, but instead of doing that, I think I'm just going to try and upgrade to an awakened fork gem, as in the past they have been extremely cheap. Let's go ahead and kind of scroll through to show you. It doesn't look like there's any priced, but what I can do is I can probably offer the guy like an X worth of value and get it. So if I just do like some fusings, the divine orb, and like I don't know what else I have that he'd want. Maybe these, ancient orb, just like miscellaneous things. I think I can probably get it off of him. Let's go ahead and maybe throw in 100 alts. So let's just throw these in there and see what he says. And then we can go ahead and show you a kind of showcase of what we're dealing with. Now, with regular fork, we only fork 1 time. With awakened fork, you actually fork a 2nd time. And basically, after you forked 1 time, you pierce all targets after that. If you fork and then fork again, you pierce the targets that you forked into, and then do the more multi that way, so on and so forth as it goes. So it's just kind of an overall different, look on things. Now, what you can do, however, is you can, instead of forking at all, you can add pierce support, and pierce support would just give you that setup. So let's go ahead and show you exactly what we're dealing with. As you see, we are having 0 issues clearing. Everything we hit is frozen. We have over 50% chance to crit, so the likelihood of us critting is very high. Now we have a setup on our flasks, which actually the way it's set up is if I use my movement ability like so, I use my flasks, and then my dodge and my diamond flask right there auto refresh, and then I have a secondary diamond flask with corrupted blood on it that says when I am bleeding it automatically pops, so that's really helpful. Because I am relatively quick at clearing maps, I can usually maintain the uptime of my flask permanently throughout the map. Also depends on how fast you are clearing your map, so I will say that. As you see there, when we dashed our movement flask refresh, looks like we found 1 chaos orb. That's pretty good considering how broke we are. Yeah, thank you. And this is just basically what we're up against and what we're doing with our league so far. Now, I think once I get my base crit hatred Watcher's Eye, currently I have no Watcher's Eye, and get all that set up to where I can just basically, zoom through content without worrying, I'll be a lot better off. But as it sits, it's just relatively hard to get any kind of thing going. Alright. Let's go ahead and do this. We obviously don't have our Corrupted Blood Jewel in. In our last setup, we actually didn't use Corrupted Blood Jewel because Corrupted Blood was absolutely useless against us. But I have since needed a Corrupted Blood Jewel, and I don't own one right now, so I'll have to actually, I actually might from my heist drops, so I have to look, but I've been running heist with this friend here, and after this map I'm going to do a quick contract to kind of show you, what I'm doing to make currency, how beneficial it is to run as more than one person if possible. As you see, my attack speed is extremely low, so that's just kind of a heads up on this build as is if you're trying to copy it. Just be forewarned that you're going to need to scale attack speed somewhere. One of the places you can scale attack speed in is Blood Rage. Blood Rage gives you free attack speed and access to frenzy charges. I currently do not have access to frenzy charges, which is it's not really a problem, but it can be. As it sits, I'm not really needing them. I don't have frostbite or anything like that as far as a curse, so I don't really need a whole lot of umph to go with it. I can fit eventually either cold pin, frostbite, or both in my build and in my kit once I get around to it, but I don't really, I don't know, I don't really think it's necessary in this current meta. Even in standard, when I was testing it, it was just kind of like, you know, it just felt like the crit was more beneficial overall for me. So I think if you're going to do this kind of thing, you want to maybe scale into like power charge on crit or something like that. Generate some power charges. That way you have more likelihood to get to a, you know, maximum of your power charges and highest crit chance. But I've yet to experiment with it yet. We'll figure out as we go. All right, looks like we did really well. Got some sun artifacts. Nice, nice. Okie dokie then.
I'm not up to that just yet.
All right. So as you can see, I'm not really having any issues with the tier 7. I can try a tier 14 or higher in a second here. Once I can kind of get used. Once I can show you this. This is what I wanted to show you. This is basically our average boss fight here. Our boss is usually permanently frozen. As you see, it's not only is it frozen, we chunk it to death. All the damage we do is just insanely outputted immediately onto the boss, and we literally don't have to worry about too much. Oh wow, this is the third one I found. Well, that's a decent bit of change, so that's nice. But as I said, like you really are gonna have to scale your attack speed eventually. So if you have that opportunity to do so, please do so. It will be very, very valuable in the end. So let's see. As you can see, we're really broke. What I might end up doing is I might end up getting the currency from the friend there and seeing if he wants to, you know, let me get it for this bow. We'll see. 35C. I can probably get 30C for it, so. He says he has some blueprints ready, so now I'm going to join him, and we're going to show you the other aspect of what we're doing. Now, in League, I have basically ran almost, excuse me, almost all of my albas. I have more, but I've ran almost all of them out already, and these are what I have left. And I've gotten 2 corruption chambers, which I have priced right now in League for 1 exalt, I think. Let me see what tab they're on. They're right here. Yeah, I have them priced for 1 exalt. At the moment, there's not a lot of people doing corruption, so it's kind of hard to, you know, sell. But if I do this, and I actually actively go, want to sell for 1 EX each, T3 corruption. Usually, eventually, someone will hit me up on them, so we can see about that. But as you guys know, I've been trying to take as much as I can from the League mechanic. I've already gotten 3 exalts from it. I've already made insane gear. This quiver was made off of this quiver here. As you can see, this ring is a so-so ring I made from it. I really like it, so I just kept it. These boots I made from it, all tier 2s. This belt was also made from the League mechanic. Pretty insane stuff if you ask me. I really like this League mechanic a lot. But without further ado, I am going to go back into heist to kind of show you, you know, just a little bit of what we're doing. I hope you guys do enjoy these longer videos. It kind of gets me to, you know, just get into talking about a little bit more about the game and sharing my knowledge a little more. I think I already went over the whole Alva thing, but what I'll do eventually is show you what you can do to progress a specific area. The easiest way is to basically buy maps for that area, as much as maps as possible, so you can basically, without any issues, progress it to where you can get the watchstone points you need. It will take currency and it will take a little bit of effort, but it is worth it, so just a heads up there. So let's go ahead and see what we got. Let's see if he wants to go on a quick adventure here. Sorry you have to see me waiting, but at the very least you can see everyone's MTXs. Look at how pretty they are. So yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm going to hold off on getting the fork, and instead I'm going to get the second 6-link. Now what I'll probably do is have a secondary 6-link set up eventually to kind of push, you know, as much damage as I possibly can. Let's see, what is his rolls? Looks like his is going to have to be divine, so I'm going to keep my divine orb. Boom. See if he accepts. Alright. What do you want? What do you give me? Oh, the exalt shards, alright. I have one, so let's see if he accepts. Or not. I think we're running a blueprint. I was going to show you why it's good to run multiple people in a contract, but I guess we're doing a blueprint right off rip. Sorry you got to just watch me type for a second, but you know, just, it is what it is. Now, as I've said before, when you're running with when you're running these, you have it really is dependent on what you do. I think we're doing gyms today because we have a lot of requests for certain gyms. It is a lot easier to get certain gems than it is to get certain replicas because you can always just get the lens and sell the lens to the, to your buyer, and he can try and do it.
My mana is gone.
As you see here, we're basically perma-freezing this big dude here without any issue. All these smaller guys are getting frozen and killed instantly.
I believe they call that loot.
Tougher than I look, eh?
Someone must do the fighting.
Now, whenever you're doing blueprints, if you're not, if you're not comfortable with your build, it's always better to go with someone else. I am roughly, I like to say 60% comfortable with my build and its ability to do these blueprints. As you see there, that was a relatively big hit. I will note that I do not have a cast on damage taken set up, which is my own fault. I could always just, go and level one up. Usually for this build, it's like a level 3 setup instead of being a level 10 setup like my other build. But, it's just how I'm playing right now. I've just made the change to ice shot. I decided to grab a bunch of stuff for it, and like, alright, we're good here.
Well, let's give it a go. This needs a big one. Moron! Moronic moron!
If they'd better than we've avoided this.
As you see, some of these enemies are really tough as far as health-wise. I do a pretty decent amount of damage, and I'm critting half the time, so there we go.
We've been spotted. That's what we're after, right?
Alright, let's see what we got. Caustic Arrow. Generosity, which is increased aura, area of effect, increased res. Aura area of effect doesn't really do anything. Rejuvenation Totem. Earthbreaker support, I believe this is a new one. Alright.
Continue with the plan. Zootikins, here comes the beating.
Let's go ahead and pop our flash so we have them going on auto.
Can't even take the time to enjoy this.
It looks like he's doing all the killing so far, so that's fine. But yeah, this is basically what we're doing, and it's pretty fun. It's also really good experience, so if you like to get decent amounts of experience. Why did you do that, dude? Well, now I have to try and get out myself, so let's go ahead and be a little bit careful if we can. Clear. Thankfully I have an inspired, so I can get some buffs up. Ow. Please die. Please die.
My mana is gone.
I don't want to die. I'm gonna die here, aren't I? Okay, so let's try and grab these real quick, because these are going to be more valuable to us than okay. So now we're, well, it looks like we have the pile of enemies there. We're good, we're good, we're golden. And this is why you do this with two
Don't
people.
underestimate me.
Got it all. Alright, so that worked out really well. But yep, without further ado, this has been Chaos-Reighn. I do appreciate you guys joining me here today for this video. If you guys have any questions, if you want to see the progress of my channel or my league content or anything like that, go ahead and ask. I'm more than willing to share it with you. But yep, take it easy everybody and have a good night.